Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the NIV, and we will be through the end of 2025. We are in Leviticus in this video, and we are in chapter 9. So again, this is the Mosaic Law as it comes to be. It's not just the 10 Commandments, it's the rest of it. So in the previous chapter, Moses had ordained Aaron and his sons just as the Lord had commanded. Okay? The priests begin their ministry. On the 8th day, Moses summoned Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. He said to Aaron, "Take a bull calf for your sin offering and a ram for your burnt offering, both without defect, and present them before the Lord. Then say to the Israelites, take a male goat for a sin offering, a calf and a lamb, both a year old and without defect, for a burnt offering, and an ox, each, or is that supposed to be? Oh, maybe guess this would be. This means both male and female, non-gender specific, and a ram for the fellowship offering, traditionally called the peace offering, to sacrifice before the Lord, together with a grain offering mixed with oil. For today the Lord will appear to you." They took the things Moses commanded to the front of the tent of meeting, and the entire assembly came and stood before the Lord. Then Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded you to do, so that the glory of the Lord may appear to you." Moses said to Aaron, "Come to the altar and sacrifice your sin offering and your burnt offering, and make atonement for yourself and the people. Sacrifice the offering that is for the people, and make atonement for them, and as the Lord has commanded." So Aaron came to the altar and slaughtered the calf as a sin offering for himself, his finger into the blood, and put it on the horns of the altar. The rest of the blood he poured at the base of the altar. On the altar he burned the fat, the kidneys, and the covering of the liver from the sin offering, as the Lord commanded Moses. The flesh and hide he burnt outside the camp. Then he slaughtered the burnt offering. His sons handed him the blood, and he sprinkled it against the altar on all sides. They handed him the burnt offering piece by piece, including the head. So at least that means they were butchering it for him, right? And he burned them on the altar. He washed the inner parts and the legs and burnt them on top of the burnt offering on the altar. Aaron then brought the offering that was for the people. He took the goat for the people's sins and slaughtered it and offered it for a sin offering, as he did with the first one. He brought the burnt offering and offered it in the prescribed way. He also brought the grain offering. He took a handful of it and burned it on the altar in addition to the morning's burnt offering. He slaughtered the ox and the ram as the fellowship offering for the people. His sons handed him the blood, and he sprinkled it against the altar on all sides. But the fat portions of the ox and the ram, and the fat tail, and the layer of fat, the kidneys, and the covering of the liver, they laid on the breast, and then Aaron burnt the fat on the altar. Aaron waved the breast and the right thigh before the Lord as a wave offering, as Moses commanded. Then Aaron lifted his hands towards the people and blessed them. And having sacrificed the sin offering, the burnt offering, and the fellowship offering, he stepped down. Moses and Aaron then went into the tent of meeting, and when they came out, they blessed the people, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. Fire came out from the presence of the Lord and consumed the burnt offering and the fat portions on the altar. And when all the people saw it, they shouted for joy and fell face down. I cannot imagine what it would be like to be standing there, and then all of a sudden there's a ball of fire burning up this offering. Now, I'm also going to say that if you have Disney Plus, I have Disney Plus, and if you have Disney Plus, they have 2 different archaeological shows that go through biblical locations with the archaeology. And in one of them, they talked about how the area had these big, like, sort of mountains of salt, and how there's pockets of natural gas naturally just under there, and how, like, any little spark could have, blasted that off. So it could be that this is placed in the right place for, God to make that spark. Because, if you were going to do it and you had your choice and you could do it, are you going to make it harder on yourself when you're the Almighty? Or are you going to make it easier on yourself? I mean, do we ever truly try to make it harder on ourselves? Because that's not even what He wants us to do. Struggle is something that comes, and we're supposed to keep our faith. But we're supposed to have the faith to know that this too shall pass. In case somebody out there needed to hear that today. This too shall pass. Indeed. It'll pass easier if you spend a little time talking to Him about it.